Biden administration touts $1 trillion infrastructure invoice. Washington. The White House is ramping up efforts to tout the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure invoice and the attempt to refurbish roads, bridges and airports and decrease emissions. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will go on a 4-day, 6-state excursion starting Tuesday, journeying Florida, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Ohio, Nevada and New Hampshire to talk up the infrastructure law. Buttigieg will tout presents accepted inside the November 2021 infrastructure regulation, which include $12 million for the Port of Tampa, $20 million to assist entire the Nevada Pacific Parkway connection and extend ability for dual-gate admission to Union Pacific NYSE, UNP, Railroad and Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail traces, and $24.5 million reconstruct roadways and pathways connecting to a chief entertainment park in Ohio. We are building a group, we're getting the money out of the door and we're telling the tale, mentioned White House Infrastructure Coordinator Mitch Landrieu in an interview this week. This is a transformational invoice, Landrieu mentioned, noting it additionally funds public lands, easy water and electric-powered grid tasks. The management has funded more than 5,000 tasks so far and launched around $113 billion. The administration will award billions of bucks in extra offers through the give up of 2022, including for electric-powered car charging stations. Over the next 12 months or so you may be able to see these things coming out of the floor, Landrieu stated. He said U.S. corporations are operating intently with states and cities on many funding applications. If states are slow coming in, we were given at the phone and known as all of them. We need to tell you once more, we're trying to get you this cash. How can we help? On Wednesday, the Commerce Department said all 50 states submitted applications for initial Making Plans awards underneath the $42.45 billion fund to increase broadband internet to unserved regions. Earlier this month, the management stated all states submitted EV infrastructure deployment plans required underneath the $5 billion EV charging program. We are becoming 100% participation on these fundamental structural packages in order that the following big factor can show up, Landrieu said. This week, the Transportation Department announced $1.66 billion in grants for 1,800 new buses. The 150 awards includes $116 million for New York City to shop for 230 battery electric buses to replace older diesel buses and $280,000 for Fayetteville, North Carolina to shop for 3 light transit cars. Last week, the Transportation Department offered $2.2 billion in presents to modernize roads, bridges and other tasks, inclusive of $25 million for California's high-speed rail program.